Man, that was stressful.
I know, right? It's crazy now. Now let's see if what happens here on the old YouTube.
Absolutely. So it's live right now, man.
Cool. So people are basically seeing it happen, huh?
Well, right now we have 0 viewers, but we'll see, we'll see how it progresses. So we are about 5 minutes late anyway. So what might have happened was people were waiting on the original one that you got blocked on, and
Oh,
then yeah, and then all of a sudden it just quit. So if people did get it in their news feeds, all of a sudden it was just like kind of taken off. You know what I mean?
yep, yep, totally for sure.
But so basically, what happened was we had a little technical issue, of course. So about an hour, hour and a half before Chad and I went over all this stuff, got it figured out, got his screen on there, and were able to talk. And then all of a sudden, when we took a break, I posted it to my news feed so everybody knew it was coming up. And then we got back on, his audio wasn't working. So that was fun.
Yep, yep.
But worst things could happen.
Yes.
But right now, what I'm doing is looking at some of the comments we had. But let's just hear what you've been up to, Chad. What's been going on? You haven't been posting too many videos as of late. I'm sure you're super busy with the movie and everything. So what's been going on with you?
Yeah, pretty much just been busy trying to get the business going in a good direction to a point to where it's not just a lemonade stand out there trying to get people to buy lemonade. Just trying to get it consistent to where clients are consistently coming in. So that was my whole goal with doing the whole van life thing, or living in a van in the first place, was to get to this point. And so it's essentially the next chapter in living the van life. So it's good. It's just kind of a different chapter. Instead of trying to figure out how to live in a van, it's trying to figure out how to make a photography business support a living. So
How's that going up there?
it's going pretty good. It's going good. Things are happening in all sorts of different avenues. Ideas are always flowing. I think that's part of my problem is I have too many ideas going all at once, and it's hard to concentrate on one thing. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's an adventure no matter what, and thankful that living in a van was able to get me to this point, at least for sure.
absolutely. Do you doing so much van life stuff right now, or?
Yeah, you know what? Not so much right now. That's why I just haven't really been doing much of the videos. I've just been so focused on, trying to do the business and stuff. Of course, I've got the van for doing road trips and working and stuff, traveling out of and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with that right now. Um, but yeah, what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh man, working a whole bunch. Finished up with the rail season here the 17th of September. So I've been doing nothing but getting stuff done around here. As you can see, I'm in a house right now. It's actually snowing for the first time down here in Seward, Alaska. I went out to the van to grab my charger when we took a little break in between the videos, and yeah, it's actually snowing right now. I'm gonna have to get studded tires for the van, but
That's
um,
crazy.
yeah, I know. Just worked really hard for the summer and got all my debt paid off, and basically just enjoying the time off now, getting everything caught up on the YouTube channel. That's what I'm mostly going to be working on. I'm going to be getting a lot of winter photography here, doing a lot of drone footage and getting the northern lights and all that good stuff. But just enjoying Alaska in the winter and just being able to hang out. 'Cause I've been going nonstop for like the last 2.5 years. Like from leaving Arizona up to here, it's just been nonstop traveling around, moving. So this is the longest I've actually been in one spot, and I don't know how long. Like it's
Yeah.
been a very long time. So just
Yeah.
just been doing the time off and being able to do stuff like this finally. Like we talked about doing this how long ago? Like a
Yeah.
video.
At least a year, year and a half, I think, before you went to Alaska the first time.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like we've both just been like super busy running around, just doing the van stuff and kind of doing our own thing and just kind of going on that path that put us down. never really had a chance. But this is good for me. Like I know you had a lot of stuff going on today before this video, so
Yep.
yeah, it's still kind of tough, even though we both got some time now to do other things.
Yeah. How's the photography going for you? Been doing a lot of that?
It's been going all right. It's just mostly my photography now. It's mostly videos is what I do. Like whenever G and I go on road trips, it's mostly just shooting videos with a couple photos here and there. Just
Yeah.
because I've found it just be so much better to show people the places we've been to in the areas by video than just like by photos. But here in Alaska, like the Northern Lights, like I was telling you earlier, they were out the other night, and it was absolutely amazing. Like seeing the Northern Lights, just like that bright and that aggressive in the sky, like there's nothing like it. So I definitely been trying to concentrate more on that photo-wise, because obviously you can't get a video of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So you've just been filming mostly GoPro stuff for your channel, basically is what you're saying when you're talking about doing video.
Well, it's video with the night with the DSLR. Like I've been doing a lot of video with that. It's a lot better quality, a lot better audio. And I just finished. It was like a 9-video series of Homer, Alaska. And the only GoPro footage I did, like I don't know if you've seen the videos recently, but I did like a little pip screen of what we were actually filming with the Nikon, and then the Phantom is up in the air. So I've been doing a lot of that, and then if I do like the time lapse, I haven't been doing any main filming with my GoPro. It's mostly just been just having that secondary screen to kind of show what I've been doing, what I've been up to. So
Yeah.
that's all I've been filming with that. But just like traveling around with the van here in Alaska has been awesome though. Like just being able to film with that van, because it's literally like have like a mobile little home, mobile little studio. Especially
Yeah.
when it's me and I, some of the videos coming up of some of our friends were in town, so we would go out like doing stuff with her friends, and one of my friends came up. I've been filming a lot with that, but it's just been awesome having that up here this season, especially because I had 2 days off in a row. I had every Monday, Tuesday off, so Sunday night we would typically drive to a place. But the tricky part about here in Alaska is when you drive somewhere, like for me to get to the closest town, like the town that actually has a grocery store, is a 2-hour drive for me. And Anchorage is a 2.5-hour drive. And if I want to go, it's just everything's so far away. So it's so awesome having that van, because normal camping trips you're going to drive 2 hours and then have to set up a tent. Or with the van we can pull up and stay wherever, and just especially up here in Alaska, just these absolutely gorgeous free spots, kind of like up there in Washington as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely been pretty helpful. Like I was mentioning earlier, when are you gonna make it up here in your van, man? Coming
Oh
up.
man, I would love to. I would love to. It's one of those things of like always juggling it. I think what I need to do is just find an excuse to go up there and shoot photos and just make a road trip out of it. In fact, I was just on Google Plus looking at some of the guys I had followed a while back, and he had some amazing photography up in like Alberta and the Canadian Rockies and stuff like that. And I know that was one of the goals of yourself, was to make it up to either like Jasper and Banff and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was looking at his photos, man. I was just like blown away. I was like, man, I've got to go hit that. So that might be a good excuse just to make it happen coming up. Yeah. So did you ever make it up there for any photos? I know you didn't the first time, but did you the second time?
I didn't, man. We kept going so early in the season that I wasn't able to actually, get up there and check it out, because the snow was up in the mountains. And at the time, just like I don't have it now, but I don't have any studded tires or anything.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just kind of one of those things where with the van, like I'm definitely more of a better safe than sorry type guy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to go rolling down a mountain or anything, but
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those places I really want to go. I don't know what's going to be happening with the future here in Alaska, because I know I'm coming back next summer for sure, but I definitely don't want to take the van down. Like it doesn't make sense to spend all that money to put it on a ferry, drive it back down, I'm coming right back up 3 months later. So maybe what I might
live in the van up there then?
Yeah, we're gonna leave it up here this winter. We're still trying to get that figured out. I'm still trying to decide if I want to get it covered or get it like professionally stored, or just get a hold of a friend and then park it uh, out in the back or whatever. But real quick, if anybody watching, if you do have any comments, I don't know how you can leave a comment on this or whatever, but if you can't, if you want to leave a comment or have any questions for Chad and I, you can go to my Facebook, which is Chris Travels, and you can write something on there, like right on my wall, or send me a message or something on there. But once again, we have Chad from Living the Van Life. We've been talking about doing this video for I don't know how long now, like just kind of talking about the van stuff and kind of answering questions. But real quick, I do have, there was a question in one of the original, video I did, and asked if either one of us had health insurance. Do you have health insurance, Chad, while you're traveling around in your van?
You know what? I don't. Unfortunately, it's kind of a risk. But part of me living in my van was quitting my full-time job so that I can pursue, photography and stuff. And health insurance is just so expensive. That was one of the risks I had to take when I quit my full-time job. Of course, it's my goal to eventually have it again, but at this point, I don't. And knock on wood, I've been really fortunate not to have to use it in the last 3 years. So,
Same.
yeah.
Same here. I've had health insurance 2 times in my life. Once when I played college football, we were mandatory. We had to have it, and then actually 3 times. And when I studied abroad in college, I had to have health insurance. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Anyways, for me, traveling around, like just seasonal work, like if you have that steady income and you do have just a way to pay month after month, then it's easier to do. But right now, it's just not part of the equation. Just got to stay smart and stay safe and cross your fingers, I guess.
Yeah. I've definitely had those health issues in the past that just come out of the blue, and it's nothing that you can plan for. My appendix ruptured at one point, and that was one of those things that's out of the blue, and you kind of think like, oh, well, I can always, make it around with no health insurance, but those things happen out of the blue, and knock on wood, nothing like that's been happening. But yeah, when it doesn't fit into the budget, it doesn't fit in the budget. What can you do, right?
So, when that happened, did you have insurance?
When that happened, I did have insurance. Yeah, that was still when I was working my full-time job when I had benefits. In fact, that was, let's see, what was that? That was about a month. Yeah, it was like right about a month before I started living in my van. And, my appendix ruptured. I was in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, goodness.
Right around Christmas time, and after that, dude, it was something weird. I got out of the hospital and something changed. I just wanted like everything simple in my life, and that was really what started the whole trend of wanting to start living in the van. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know what the deal was.
How is the van running? I haven't heard much about it. Is that new engine working better? Because I know you've had some chronic issues with that thing. Like,
yeah. It was hard to pinpoint exactly what the issue was. I had it warrantied a couple times. The last time they wouldn't warranty it, but they were willing to cover all the work and just charge me for parts. So this time it seems the strongest that it's ever been on it. So the van altogether is running really good. I'm still definitely happy with the Subaru. I get a lot of questions, people asking me like, oh, well, I've heard you've had lots of issues with the Subaru. Would you still do that conversion again? And the thing is, there's been thousands and thousands of people do these conversions, and so it's a proven method. I just had some bad luck with maybe a lemon issue or whatever. I don't know, but I would definitely recommend it to anybody else to do it for sure. Just because I've had the issue doesn't mean it's a bad concept.
Yeah. Well, even though you've been super busy, have you been able to get out and do any exploring in the van, or have you been kind of swamped with the movie?
No, I've definitely been out doing some traveling. I was able to get some videos posted. I took the van down with my 2 kids down to Bonneville. The film you're talking about was based down at the Bonneville Salt Flats in northwestern Utah for the land speed racing. And so I was down there for 3 years filming on that. And this time around, the movie was all done, and I wanted to take my 2 kids down there. They're 7 and 12, and kind of give them that experience of doing a road trip in the van and checking out the Bonneville Salt Flats. And so I was able to get a few videos up. I was hoping to do more, but we got a couple up and had a lot of fun doing it. And so that was cool. So, stuff like that. I've got a video project coming up where I'm going to be spending a lot of time down in Seattle, which is about 2 hours away. So I'll go down in the van for 3 or 4 days at a time and work out of the van. Like you were saying, it's kind of like a cool little studio setup. I can have all my cameras set up in there. I can have my chargers plugged into my inverter, be out shooting, and have the van as a mobile base station. And still using the heck out of that. And then at night, I'll go find a cool place with an awesome view somewhere in Seattle and park and maybe shoot some photos, but at least have an awesome view of the city and be able to camp right there. And that's the awesome thing about the Westfalia is it just blends in with everybody in Seattle fairly easily without sticking out like a big huge RV or anything like that.
Absolutely. I think adding that roof rack kind of, I don't have that same type of thing anymore, but some people just kind of look at it as like a recreational vehicle, so much more than like an RV. So I'm right on that the middle line. How is the photography business going for you? Are things going well with that?
Yeah, things are. I think my favorite part about this kind of business is figuring out how to generate business. You have to be creative in it. So not only do I get to create, photography and videos, I also, got to be creative and figure out how I'm going to drum up work. So the whole process is kind of creative, and so it's going good. I always feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I always feel like I want to get to that next level, and it's always a struggle to get there. But when I stop and look back to when I look back to the very first video that I did of living the van life, and kind of talking about what I wanted to accomplish then and where it's come now, it's, then it's a little bit more reassuring of like, okay, well, we're getting somewhere at least. So it's good. And honestly, the thing is like, I'm doing what I love to do, and I know that's the same with you. You're out doing what you love to do, and that's all, brought to you by van life, Yeah,
absolutely. So, do you even get much time to check out many YouTube videos anymore?
Not as much as I'd like to. It's really hard finding the balance of, trying to get work done and figure out ways to generate work, plus, have that kind of recreation, leisure time to look at much YouTube videos. So honestly, I don't get as much time as what I'd like to, for sure.
Well, the reason why I ask is because there's a whole bunch of people out there doing a bunch of RV and van stuff now. Like it seems like every month there's like 5 or 6 new people, at least 5 or 6. Man, it's crazy. Like it's literally like spreading. It's so rad. It's awesome to see because my favorite thing about it is like you get to see what each person's doing. Like you can spend like 5 minutes and just like watch the first, minute and a half of these videos and see what these people are up to and where they're traveling and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you get a feel for it. You can it's crazy, man. There's so many people doing it. And I think that's awesome. I'm hoping it's like more of a thing that's happening just kind of nationwide. I think it's a much better way to live, and I think people are really starting to respond to that and really starting to see that. I think it's something that's happening. I love checking out the new videos of all the new people out there. That's why I asked. I didn't know if you had a chance to see any of that, because literally like now how YouTube has that suggested video on the right side. Like anytime I watch any of your videos or anybody else doing the van stuff, there's 3 or 4 suggestions of people that I never even heard of before.
Yeah.
Click on them. They're just starting out their channel and doing their travels. Like living free is one of them. He's starting a trip right now. I don't know if it's his girlfriend or what, but they're traveling around. And the last video I saw of his, they just drove back in the middle of Colorado somewhere. Like they just drove like an hour or two in this back road and found this camping spot, you know. And
Wow.
it's just like it's becoming common to see people do that now. Like everybody's doing it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is really cool, and yeah, it's cool to hear the feedback, and I'm sure you get a lot of feedback, you know, too, of people just, you know, talking about how they want to start living in their van. And you know, I mean, quite honestly, you know, when the idea was presented to me, like, well, why don't you live in your van? I was like, well, I can't do that. Like, what do you mean, live in my van? Like, really? That's possible? And that's when I went to YouTube to see who else was doing it. And there was a couple guys out there that were doing it at the time. I can think of one or two. I mean, there's Jeff the Canuck. He was one of the first ones. Bug Out Vehicles. You know, he was doing a bunch of that kind of stuff, and it was really interesting watching his stuff. That was a lot of fun. And then, of course, Kyle Pounds. He was kind of doing his thing then. And,
real quick, side note, have you seen anything that guy's doing now?
Kyle Pounds?
Yeah, have you watched any of his videos?
Well, I know he was doing his living his van log, living the van log vlog or whatever it is. But I know when he stopped doing the van stuff, he kind of stopped for a while. But I see every once in a while some stuff come across, but I don't get a chance to watch. What's he up to? What's he doing?
I have no idea. You know how YouTube sometimes unsubscribes you from channels for absolutely no reason? I think that happened. Yeah, like there's multiple times where I've been unsubscribed from channels, and I think I must have got unsubscribed because I don't see his newsfeed anymore.
Oh, weird.
But I digress. But yeah, it's definitely when I started, it was kind of the same thing. I like in terms of van stuff, because when I first did my first trip, I didn't even know about bug out vehicles or people traveling around in vans. It's just something that I wanted to do, and then I posted a video of my van because I was thinking about selling it. I was going to put it on Craigslist. I wanted to do a video to show people what the van was like, and all of a sudden I started getting all these hits from the van that I was trying to sell. I was like, what's going on here? And then I started looking around, and the people I always watched at the beginning was Kyle Pounds and Jeff the Canuck. Jeff the Canuck was the big one that kind of put it in my head to start making videos, because I looked back at kind of what he was doing, like talking about, okay, this is my setup, I have this here for this reason, and it helps me travel in this way. So I looked at my van and I was like, why don't I do that? You know, like in terms of like why don't I situate my dresser like that? That way I have more room to sleep or whatever, you know. And that was kind of how the wheels started turning for me. And then it was just always fun for me showing people how to travel around, how to do it cheaply and how to do it the best way possible, the most fun way possible. And YouTube has been a really good avenue from way back in the day, from what it was like. Kind of, I'm sure the same way you just said you watched your first video or whatever. If you look back at that to what's going on now, you know, it's a pretty cool transition from what we're doing and also what other people are doing. You know, it's definitely spreading. It's definitely interesting to see.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely cool, and I think the main message that I got out of it was the fact that I got out of watching my first videos was the fact that it is doable. And so that was one thing I really wanted to put forth in my videos, was the fact that you can do this, and here's how simple it is. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of, number one, and number two, like, everything's doable. You know, everybody's always concerned where you're going to go to the bathroom and when you're going to take a shower. The fact is, you just figure it out. You know, I've done multiple videos trying to explain it, and I love the comments that come out. You know, people are like, "Oh, you just need to do this and this and this and this and this," and it's like, well, yeah, those are good, but I'm not going to drive around with a 5-gallon bucket of sawdust and human waste sitting in it. You know, it's like in my situation at the Westphalia, you know, I've got a bench seat that turns into my bed. I have a 5 foot by 5 foot square area, which I call my living room, and then it's my 2 seats for driving. So I don't really have a space to, you know, just have a bucket sitting around and stuff like that. But you figure it out, you know. And I think that was my biggest learning experience in doing it. Is like just no, you just do it. You just make it work. And I tried to put that forth in the videos as much as I could.
Well, I feel like the way that we travel, like it's ours is different from I don't want to say a lot of van channels, but like for you and I specifically, and also I guess living free now, like we're traveling around with girls in our vans, like
Yeah.
and like you're saying how it's easy for us just to sit there and say like you just deal with it, you get it figured out. Like I don't know if you're the same way, if the same for your girl, but for me personally, sometimes it's like we'll get it figured out is not enough of an answer to continue on. Is that the same way for you, or like do you find the same situation as I do?
Yeah. Alyssa, she's like very health conscious, and she's found that she's like sensitive to a lot of different foods, and so she has a very strict diet that she lives by. And so traveling in the van, the way I like to do it is I don't bring any food with me. I'm not going to go if I know I'm going on a 2-week trip. I'm not going to go buy 2 weeks worth of food and bring it with me. So I'll just stop at the store once or twice every other day or whatever and get food. Where Alyssa, she wants to like bring piles of food, and that's a little bit tough, when you're traveling in a small area. Clothes and food, they kind of become out of control. So, whereas me, I just let's figure it out and go for it. But so
Absolutely
yeah,
agree.
it's been a challenge, but having a girl that is even willing to do that, I think we're pretty lucky to be in those positions for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot, like you mentioned, you get a lot of specific questions about your channel. What happens? Because a lot of my videos, G's there with me, and I always get asked, like either one, how do you find a girl like that? Like I have a, like we know a secret little recipe to get that figured out, and and what it's like. Like I definitely agree with you. Like we're definitely fortunate to have that,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like one of those things where it's kind of hard to describe. Like there's really good parts of it, but there's parts you have to deal with, kind of like with the food and everything. Like there's always that middle ground you gotta figure out. 'Cause I honestly think a lot of guys they have this idea of what it's going to be like, and then there's the actual reality of what it's like. Like there's
Traveling with a girl, you mean, or just living in a van? Period.
uh both, absolutely both. But I think the sharpest difference is traveling with a girl compared to what you think it's gonna be. Because when you're by yourself, this is the way I've found it anyways. When you're by yourself traveling, it's a lot easier to manipulate things to be the way you want it. It's just like a very slow progression. You can just very easily transition to the way you want things. It's very easy to just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it that way. Whereas if you're traveling with, I don't even say girls, like, but specifically girls when you're dating them, it's not just an easy little, it's not an easy transition. It's like, okay, it needs to either be this way or this way. That's kind of the way I've found it. So it's a little bit more difficult in terms of that, but
Yep.
uh, it's
I'd say I've had a few of those questions too, like, oh well, how do you living in your van? How do you um, sustain a relationship, or how do you have a girlfriend like while you're doing that? And I guess to answer your question of like, well, how do you get a girl like that? I finally came to the to the realization, and when I started living in my van, I was single and just living it up. And so after several months, realizing that living in a van was okay, I kind of used it to my advantage in the fact of like you can weed out a whole bunch of girls, that aren't right. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to hold back the fact that I live in a van. I'm going to tell them I live in a van, and they're either going to be like, oh, you're crazy, which, hey, perfect, that girl's not for me. Or you get the girls that are like, oh, wow, really? Like, that's awesome. And then like, well, okay, like, so, I just came to the realization you just got to wear your heart on your sleeve, as they say, and be upfront about it, and that's how you're going to get it. You're either going to find the girls that love it, and actually I found 9 times out of 10 girls were like super stoked on it. I very rarely found a girl that was like, and I'm just saying find girls like, just in conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I very rarely found a girl that'd be like, "Oh, you're weird. Like, what the hell? I'm not going to talk to you," type thing. Like they were really intrigued by it. So for anybody out there wondering that, I'd say just wear your heart on your sleeve and go for it.
Absolutely. I think it's just letting them know, like, up front, you don't want to like pick them up for a date or whatever in your camper van. You might be a little bit of warning would probably be good. But I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I have not really had any, like, I can honestly look back and say right now, I don't think, you said 9 times out of 10, I can't think one time where a girl was like just so negative on it. Like, you live in your van. Like, I think the worst I got was just a girl being like, well, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I just travel, do some photography, some videos. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's
Yeah.
like I think it's definitely a positive. I don't really see it as a negative at all.
Yeah. And I think the huge part is realizing the fact that we live in our van because we choose to, and that's the kind of lifestyle we want to live because either A, we're chasing a goal that we want to be, or we just want to live that simpler lifestyle where, we're not forced into this because we have a criminal background and we can't get a job, so this is the only thing we've got. There's a huge difference there. So I think the people that choose to live this lifestyle, they have they usually have a goal and they have a lot of things going for them. And I think that's probably the biggest difference.
I absolutely agree. So, do you see I don't know. I guess you've been pretty busy with everything because what I was getting at it, like talking about all the new people on YouTube doing the RV stuff and the camper van stuff. Do you see kind of a view of living that simpler, less of a cluttery lifestyle? Do you see a lot more people gravitating towards that, or do you think that it's just like a very marginal, small amount of people? Do you think it's like a big shift that's happening right now, or do you think it's just kind of a smaller little subculture that's starting to really get out there and enjoy it?
I would definitely say it's starting to get bigger. Whether or not you call it a movement or a shift at this point, I don't know. That's kind of interesting, but it definitely seems to be a larger portion of people. I mean, you look at the whole tiny house thing, which I feel tiny houses go right along with, living a van life type thing.
Absolutely.
So you see a lot of people doing that. You see a big trend in it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully a lot of people realize that that's what it takes, and I think people just finally get fed up with the rat race of everyday situations, and they finally figure out that turning to a simpler lifestyle can make it all easier. So hopefully people keep going that way.
Absolutely. I'm really hoping that works out. But if YouTube's any indication, or people just in particular like messaging, I'm sure you get the same thing. People messaging you or asking you specific questions about living the van life. Hopefully that continues. But if anybody's watching right now, if you do have any questions, this is Chad from Living the Van Life. Right now we are doing our first little live video. We'll see how this goes and go from there. But if you do have any questions, we don't even know if you have a spot to comment. You can comment on this video, or if there is no option to comment, you can go to Facebook. My Facebook is Chris Travels, CHRIS Travels, and you can ask any questions that you want there or ask on this video. But right now we're just talking about what we've been up to, what things have been happening with the van, with my van, with his van, with our jobs, what we're going to be doing this winter. As we mentioned before, if you just joined us, Chad's going to be heading overseas. Going to be some of the projects he's been working on are definitely taking off, sending him overseas. He's enjoying all that over there. So, yeah. Anything else been going on with you, man? Van-wise, life-wise, anything at all?
I really, I've realized, and I'm sure you've realized too, that this whole YouTube thing, to take it seriously, like it can really almost need to be kind of a full-time thing, as far as like doing a video. And you do a freaking awesome job of keeping people updated with tons of videos. And I wish I had more focus and being able to do that. But one thing I've realized is that even though I might not be doing as much, living the van life type of stuff, even continuing videos into like the aftermath of living the van life, which my whole goal of living the van was to, you know, get myself to, like I said, be a photographer, a filmmaker, and a lot of that stuff's starting to come about. So I think it would be cool to be able to continue living the van life videos into that and show people more of like, well, I lived in a van to be able to get here in England for this film festival, or to be able to go to Spain and shoot this, or even just anywhere, whatever photo trip that I'm doing. So I really hope to find the time to be able to do more videos like that, and not just continue teaching people how to live in a van. I feel like I've done a ton of videos about that, and quite honestly, it gets to the point of like, well, what else can I really talk about on the van? So I really think about continuing in to show people, well, this is what living the van life has got me to. And I think that might be cool and encouraging for people, because, just because you live in your van for several years doesn't mean it has to end there, especially if you have a purpose for it. So hopefully I can find the time to keep doing that. What about you? What's your goal with your videos? How far do you see this whole thing going for you?
I don't know, man. For me, I really don't see any particular end. Like it's been kind of something that I've talked about with like friends and family, like in terms of like future van stuff, live stuff. But I'm at that point, at that precipice now where it's like the dirty 30s coming up. So it's kind of like what's going on with career wise. Like you're getting older and older, but it's like I don't really want to get to the point where I feel like I'm forced into career just because of age. Like I think I honestly think for at least another 2 years I'm going to come back to Alaska for summers, and then winters do traveling. But it's I plan on doing YouTube videos for a long time, because at this point right now, like I am weighing heavily on never even really getting that big boy job and just continuously traveling like this, because it's like I'm the most happy doing this, and it's like I don't, and unless I really feel a calling, because the only thing I'm going to do besides traveling is probably the only thing I ever wanted to do big boy job wise is teaching. And
Yeah.
like that's the only thing, if something works out to where I'll finally get to that point to do the teaching or whatnot, then I'll do that. But if not, then I'm just going to continue traveling, doing YouTube videos, doing the van stuff. Might even get to the point where I probably will never sell Zep, my van out there. I honestly don't think I ever will. But it might get to the point to where I get a larger Class C or something, and like live out of that, because I don't think I could ever honestly pay rent. Like I don't ever want to pay rent. I don't like the idea of paying into something that I'm not getting anything out of.
Yeah.
So I'd rather buy a Class C and maybe do like for those that watching earlier, maybe not, but you were talking about the guy that you met in Washington that spends his summers up here working in Alaska, and he just driving down to Colorado to ski for the winter. Like maybe even finding a little nice spot like that, because I don't think like you might be able to agree, living this life, once you do it, it seems kind of absurd to give it up. Like once you grasp something like this and are able to experience it and have a great time doing it, it
Yeah.
kind of doesn't make sense to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a lifestyle you can continue on, or take with you throughout life. That's for sure. It's a huge life lesson, and it's so interesting. It's just so interesting after living that lifestyle to listen to other people talk, and some of the struggles they go with, and thinking, well, gosh, yeah, man, I remember having some of those struggles, and how much living a simpler lifestyle really like helped me out. I wish everybody could realize how much that could help them. I think it'd be good lesson for everybody to learn for sure.
Absolutely. So I just got a whoa. I wonder, can you see how that's flipping back and forth?
Oh, it's what?
On your screen, like I don't know if it's just on mine. Don't mind me. There's a thing you can click to switch the screens. But
Oh,
anywho, I got a question on YouTube,
cool.
not YouTube on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
First question from Kevin Appling. Do you worry about what happened to Eric with his YouTube following that could happen to you guys listening to you on live YouTube?
That's awesome.
Do you worry about that, Chad?
Um, well, and to be honest with you, I don't know that I ever caught the full gist of what exactly happened there. If I'm worried about, I guess my understanding of it is there is a whole bunch of people just kind of wanting to take him down and really pick on that whole situation and dig up a bunch of crap on him. I don't know if they were trying to take him down or whatever. Am I understanding that correctly? Is that what you understand as well, Chris?
I think so, man. I think it's kind of one of those things where I let those situations kind of take care of themselves type thing, you know. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, but for me, like, I don't know, I really don't let negative comments or anything like that really get to me because there's always, there's always going to be negative comments. There's always going to be something along those lines. For example, I did a video, like I was out at a glacier here in Alaska. It was an absolutely gorgeous day, and was having a great time just hanging out, doing some filming, doing some drone footage. Just did a quick video thanking all the viewers and everybody that watches, subscribes, and everything. And it had like 125 likes or something, and then one dislike. And somebody wrote on the comment section like, "Really, somebody thumbed this down?" And it's just like it's nothing that really like offends me anymore. It's just like something that comes with the territory, and it's something that it's just part of the being on YouTube. Because I feel like when you put yourself out, like us doing a live video right now, like if you're able to just talk on the computer to like people in general, like you got to just be prepared. Like there might be some negative comments. Some people might not like you, and even if you're trying to do something good, it just comes with it.
Yeah. Well, and when I first started the van channel, um, I didn't blast it all over Facebook. I didn't go tell all my friends. I just kind of kept it quiet and figured the people that will want to find it will find it. And after my first 800 subscribers, I realized people were really into this, and I had nothing but positive comments. And that's when I realized, like, wow, people really are like passionate about this, and they really support what I'm doing, and are very interested in it. And so to get the very few people that wanted to make a smart ass comment or feel like they wanted to say something to put me down, like it didn't matter because there was 800 and now thousands of subscribers. Really being encouraging and supportive and stuff like that. So the random troll, like, yeah, it's just like, well, who are you to be talking anyway? So
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like I said, I kind of just left that situation as it was. But I mean, if it was people specifically like going after him, that sucks. But I mean, for me, never had anything like that, and I just ignore negative comments. Like it's just part of it. Got another question. This one specifically for you. Hey Chad, I'm a full-time steelworker looking to go full with photo/video, but find that work is sporadic and inconsistent. How do you go about getting work? Also, how do you sell yourself to get jobs? And that is from Kyle Taylor. Looks like he has a dolphin.
yeah, I just pulled up your Facebook page and I saw that question there.
Yeah, a nice looking dolphin. I think that's one of those Toyota Dolphins, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, how do you go about doing that?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's a lot of time and dedication. You have to really work at becoming a master at your craft. And not the saying that I'm a master, but just really working hard to know um, your photography, knowing the camera in and out, knowing that you can go into any situation and without even thinking about it, you can operate the camera to get what you need out of it. So knowing your work, knowing how to complete your work, I think is the number one thing. Having a passion about it is going to. He says it's a Sun Raider. He must be following
right there.
Yeah.
I see it.
But yeah, I think having a passion behind it, not just like, oh, I want to do photography. Like, to have a passion behind it, find your passion in photography, because passion is what's going to keep you going forward. It's going to be what keeps you up till 3 or 4 in the morning editing a photo job so that it's done by the morning, or whatever. So, and that passion is going to show through in your work, and other people are going to see that and want to hire you. As far as like going out and finding work, it kind of depends on what you want to do. If you want to be like a fine art landscape photography or photographer, then you really got to build up that portfolio. You got to have a social network presence. People got to see your work. You got to put it out there. Like, just put yourself out there. Follow guys like Chase Jarvis. I don't know if Kyle, you're familiar with that, but look up Chase Jarvis. He's a professional photographer out of Seattle. He has an amazing presence on social network, and he has just a ton of advice and inspirational words that will encourage you to go out and just do your work. Let's see. Find that work is sporadic and inconsistent. That's the hard part when you're first starting out. You haven't really generated that client base. You really need to figure out which area of photography you want to go after, whether it's portraits, fine art, landscape, maybe architectural photography. If you find any interest in buildings, you can find that it's a little more consistent. You can go find construction companies that are building buildings, and if you get in good with them, they're always building buildings. So, they're going to want to ask you back to shoot their finished projects. That's what I've done. I've got in with several contractors and have pretty consistent work doing architectural photography. So hopefully that works. It's just one of those things. You put your head down and you keep working hard, and then hopefully you'll look up, several years down the road and find that you've got some quite a few jobs under your belt. So hopefully that helps, Kyle.
Alrighty, got another question from Rob. I'm not gonna butcher his last name, but he was asking about van insurance and getting a policy without an address, and what company do you use. What about you, Chad? You want to start?
Yeah, sure. I've always been with Farmers Insurance for like the last 14 years with all my cars, and my Volkswagen Vanagon just went right on that policy. I don't really have anything special as far as an RV insurance or anything like that. It's just your standard car insurance.
And with me, I have Geico. Geico's done really well for me. I actually have RV insurance through Geico. Mine is full coverage. I think it's $250 deductible and theft. Even though I had to insure my Phantom and my camera gear and my laptop separate, that's through homeowners back in Indiana through my parents. And I just use my parents' address, and then I just make the payments on it, so it all works out for me. But going back to the video stuff, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people starting to make their own YouTube vlogs. Do you have any suggestions for people starting out their own blogs, Chad?
Yeah, gosh, I would just say be real. I think that's what people appreciate the most, being down to earth and, being real, showing what you're going through. Um, I know one of the most the videos that I got, some of the most interesting responses were from is when I was traveling to California and I was having just tons of mechanical issues with my van, and like I was just like distraught, and I just got on YouTube and I was like letting it all go right there, and people like were digging it, but just because it was reality and stuff. So um, it was fun. It was interesting making the videos, and I didn't expect the response that I got from it. But yeah, I think just being real, show people your adventure, be open with it, and if you learn anything, no matter how simple it may be, like share it with people. People will dig it.
Yeah,
What about you,
that's
Chris?
kind of when I first started. It was like I said, when I wasn't even really planning on starting a real vlog. It was just I posted a video about my van, and then it just kind of took off. But for me, I think something that I always try and do is try and make it pretty consistent in terms of posting days, because I actually have about 15 videos done right now, and I still have a lot more coming of this summer in Alaska. So basically, this entire winter is going to be videos from this last summer in Alaska. And the reason I did that is because it just working 16, 20-hour days, it wasn't very conducive to coming home and editing videos.
Yeah.
And so I found myself, like, one day I was editing videos, a beautiful day outside. I was like, I could be outside filming this, like getting phantom videos of this awesome sunset here in Alaska, or I can be sitting in front of my computer. And that's the last video I edited during the train season. And now I have, I probably have 50 to 60 hours worth of video I need to go through and edit. But I
Oh,
mean, yeah, but it's winter here in Alaska. Like, it's cold outside. I have an absolutely gorgeous view outside, and I have my laptop right here. So I'm pretty excited to get these videos up and show out lives here in Alaska during the summer. 'Cause this is definitely one of the better summers I've ever had up here in Alaska. So, but
yeah.
going back to the blog, I think just keeping it consistent, and like Chad said, keeping it real. Like for me, anyways, my voice completely changed once I got used to doing the videos. My style completely changed. Like, just kind of what I filmed, I wasn't like, I don't know if you're the same way. When I first started, I was
Yeah.
holding the camera to me. I was always like pointing it out to what I was filming. I wasn't actually like kind of explaining what was going on. I just kind of did it quick, like, here's this, this, and this. Catch you later. And then as it progressed, I started learning new things and doing different things
Yeah.
with the video.
I like what you said about being consistent. I think that's the big thing. The first year that I was doing my uh, video log, I think I had like 6 videos up, and I'd gotten like 800 subscribers, and I realized then that um, I realized how people were serious about it, and so then I took it more seriously and got more consistent on putting up more videos more often, and my subscriber count just like skyrocketed, and my video views count skyrocketed. So if you want to be successful in it, whatever you determine as being successful, in having a vlog, I think is definitely being consistent and posting regularly, and people will keep coming back for you for sure.
And just got another question. This one is for you, Chad. This is from Rob Johnson. Question for you, Chad. I am a former truck driver and always found I got better sleep in my truck than in my bed at home. Is it the same for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, yeah, that's 100%. Um, that's why I love like getting in the van and like I sleep so good. I wake up the next morning so refreshed. I don't know what it is. Like it's cozy. Maybe it's just that freedom. Maybe it's the cool air. I don't know, but I would definitely have to agree there for sure.
Yeah, like whenever I do the van stuff, it's the same way. Like, I feel like I can sleep in a lot more comfortable. And like I'm sure like waking up in the middle of nowhere and looking outside, and it's just absolutely gorgeous outside. There's no
Yeah.
other feeling than that when you first wake up and just have a day, do whatever you want.
What's your favorite moment like Your favorite spot? What's your most fondest like van camping memory?
It actually wasn't even I wasn't camping. It was when I first was heading out to Arizona. So the original plan was to go from Indiana to southern coast of California, then head up to Alaska. And what happened was my van kept breaking down on the way out to Arizona, and
I
my
remember those videos, by the way.
yeah, middle of
Was it the starter or
nowhere.
something?
What's up?
Was it the starter or the fuel pump or something like
It
that?
was the fuel pump.
Oh,
So this is what was happening. It would just I'd be going, I'd try and go up a hill, and then the van would just die, and I'd be able to put it in neutral and then crank it back on and then take off again. So I put too much strain on it. And what happened was the fuel pump was going out. It'd just be like nothing, 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 and a bunch of fuel, and it would flood the motor. So what happened was I was heading out. I finally made it close to Albuquerque. Well, first the van broke down, and I paid these guys that worked at a truck station $200 because the truck station was closing. So we went back to their place, dropped the tank, and switched the fuel pump. We didn't do it right apparently. So what happened was I made it to Albuquerque. Then the van started breaking down again, and I was going up this hill. It's like 3 in the morning. Like those that ever went from Albuquerque out to Arizona, you know this hill right outside of Albuquerque. And I was
is it on the east
going up
side or
this hill.
the west side of Albuquerque?
It was heading towards Arizona, so the west side.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going up that hill. I have the doghouse off because I'm wondering what's wrong with this van. Like I'm trying to look down and see what's going on with this van. I don't know if like a plug wire is shorting out or what.
Yeah.
And then I floor it going up this hill just like angry, and then the van dies, and then it backfires, and this giant ball of flame comes flying through my van, and my upper intake's on fire, and I have to run in the back. I get my fire extinguisher, I put out the fire, and then after that, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. This is like 10 miles outside the town. Like I can barely see Albuquerque behind me. I'm just barely at the top of this hill, this mountain or whatever, and then like I'm so angry, I'm freaking out, and then like I started taking the upper intake off. I got flustered. I went outside and like sat, and it was like far enough to outside of town to where like it was like 3 in the morning, so not that many cars going by. The occasional truck driver was going by, and it was just like really quiet. And I was like sweating, just so angry, but it was freezing out, so there was like steam coming off my head, and I was just like chilled out. Went back to the van, and took the upper and lower intake off, cleaned it all out, put it back on, started the van up, took it to the shop, got it fixed the next day. I took it to a professional. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. It was the fuel pump again, of course.
Yeah.
But looking back, out of all my van travels, that was like one of my happiest moments because I flipped out and then had like an awesome quiet moment in the middle of the desert outside of Albuquerque, just like staring at the sky, trying to chill out, and then got the van put back together and made it back to town. And that was my favorite. What about you?
That's awesome. Yeah, I love those moments. I mean, that's what the epitome of living in a van is. There's always those moments. Like when you get moments like that living in a house, it stays in the same spot all the time. You know.
That's
Um,
true. Very true.
yeah, I don't know. I think probably a trip I took down through Moab. I was with a really good friend of mine. Well, you met him, Eldad. He's got the fruit shop up here. He flew in to Salt Lake City and met me when I was on a road trip, and we went out to Moab, and we were driving down the road, and we knew we wanted to go to the right out through the desert. We wanted to go find some sunset photos, and we're looking on the GPS as we're driving down the highway, and we see this little line headed out to the right, and we're like, okay, well there must be a road there, and so we pulled off, and there was no road there, but there was a gate in the fence. And so, being the adventurers that we are, we just we took that trail. We opened the gate, and kind of out in that area of the desert, like the rule of thumb is, if you open the gate, just close it behind you. It's not like private property. You're not going to get trespassed or anything like that. So, anyways, we opened the gate, and we're like literally on this goat trail. And that's one thing I love about the Volkswagen is like you can just take it almost off-road anywhere. So we're on this goat trail for probably miles. We're like driving around bushes and we ended up finding some other bigger roads, but we drove until it got dark, and we followed our little line on the GPS, and we ended up at the end of that line, and we went up on this little hill, and literally there's bushes around us, and it was a clear night, and we couldn't really see it. I mean, it was dark. There was no moon, and so I got my camera out, and I set my camera up, and I did like a 30-second exposure, like looking out in front of the van. And you know how that works with photography. Like, you can just light up your entire surroundings with your camera like that. And so we did a test shot just to see what it looked like out there. And we ended up on this knob, and the van was up at the top, and there was literally like a drop-off that went to these huge canyons that just like went on forever and ever and ever. And we built a fire there, and we were miles and miles and miles away from anybody else, and we had the whole place to ourselves. And just that feeling of being out in the middle of nowhere in like the most amazing country ever, and knowing that you have everything, the comforts of home because you live in your van, that was a freaking awesome feeling. So we built a fire and we shot photos all night, and I don't think I even went to sleep that night. It was just freaking so awesome. So moments like that is what makes it all real, for sure. It's cool stuff.
Absolutely. So Chris Davis just commented. He said, "Your live stream has chat and stream, by the way, if you are talking." So I wonder if there's a way for us to actually see that, because maybe that's something we'll figure out if we, well, when we do this this video again in the future.
So, I'm sorry, what were they saying?
It says your live stream has chat and stream. So I wonder if there's like an actual chat going on that we just can't see. Oh well. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out next time.
Huh.
So if you just tuned in once again, this is Chad from Living the Van Life. We're just doing a quick live video. If anybody has any live questions of what's been going on, once again, you can message me on Facebook. My name is Chris Travels, or you can just write a comment, or yeah, find a way to message us on here. Yeah. Got another message, maybe? Nope. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and write us on there. What about anything else been going on, man?
No, not that I can think of. Pretty much, I think just about covered it. Looking forward to headed to England next week. That should be interesting. We'll be at a film festival for 3 or 4 days. That's in Southampton. In fact, I did have some people commenting earlier asking what the status of the movie was. We're just right now we are in the process of finding a distribution deal. We've got a good team of people. We've got Ryan Stiles. Many of you guys might know him from Whose Line Is It Anyways? He's one of the stars of that.
Real quick, I'm going to interrupt Chad. For those that don't know, Chad made an awesome documentary on the Bonneville Salt Flats. He put an awesome movie together, and right now they're going through the stages of actually, you know, as he's saying, just distributing it as far and wide as possible. So, yeah, sorry, Chad, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. We've got Ryan Stiles on board as one of the producers. And Ryan is known as from his part in Whose Line Is It Anyways, the comedy improv show. So anyways, he's got lots of connections, and we've been able to get on board with his agency to help them we've gotten on board with an agency to help us find a distributor for the film and really take it to the next level. We really poured our heart and soul into this project, and just hoping that it can really get out there to the mainstream, you know, and out into theaters, and so everybody can see it. So that's what we're working on right now. We've been really focusing on the film festival circuit right now, which means we've selected a number of different film festivals all over the world to enter in and really try to get some notoriety to the film. And that's what I'm taking off for next week. We're going to Southampton, England. So I'll be there for 3 or 4 days, and we're staying an extra week beyond that. And a few of us are going up to Scotland, just taking a train and camera and some clothes and just going to see what we see up in Scotland. So, yeah, that's what we're doing with the film right now. We got into another film festival down in the Los Angeles area, so anybody down in the LA area that might be interested in seeing the film down there, check out the All Sports Film Festival. We'll be showing it down there, so it's kind of what we're doing. So pretty exciting stuff for sure.
Nice. I have another question for us, if I can track it down real quick. It is from Keith Card. Wife and I are getting ready to retire on a budget. Do you ever have problems or scary incidents while stopping off grid? Have you ever had any problems, Chad?
No, I've never had any problems. I always try to do my best to stay in areas that seem to be a little bit more upbeat. I try to stay out of the dark alleys, out of the bad parts of town, stuff like that. Well-lit parking lots. I really like, truck stops. There's always lots of activity going on at truck stops. People are kind of expected to be around there 24/7, so those seem pretty good. But no, I can't say that I've really had any crazy incidences for sure. I know it's kind of seems like you could, but knock on wood, it's so far so good. What about you, Chris?
Well, what about you off grid, like way out in the country? Have you had any weird experiences? People coming up to you, or?
No. I'm sorry. Any what coming up to me?
Any type of weird people coming up to you? Any questions in terms of that? Like say you're out in the middle of nowhere and like this weird vehicle comes up and they're just kind of staring at you for a while. Anything like that, or?
No, I've never had any situation like that. I can't say that I do a ton of that type of stuff. I mean, I enjoy going out and doing that kind of stuff with, out in the desert and stuff like that. I can't say that I would actually live that way to where I'm going to go spend every night out there. Being on a road trip and staying a night out in the middle of somewhere, I would do. But as far as actually living that way, I don't think I do. I feel more comfortable being a little closer to town, still being off the grid because I'm not plugged in. I don't have running water, but really trying to blend into the streets when there's people around and stuff like that. I feel a little more safer that way. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'd say that the out in the boonies of adventures were just more, every once in a while. It definitely wasn't any living that kind of stuff.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I have to say the only times that I've been in a situation where I've been kind of iffy about something is in town. Like I actually did the most interesting was actually in Bellingham. I was at the Walmart there, and yeah, there's a group of 10 people in this minivan that were going around and knocking on the doors of people that were like sleeping in their cars. And I don't know if it was like a church group or something or what was going on, but they were just like kind of going around car to car, and they said they were asking if everybody was okay and if they needed any food or anything. But and some people commented on, like it's one of those things where if it's good intentions, that's awesome. But when you just kind of get that little bit of a vibe, like people just kind of give you that vibe, like
Yeah.
it was one of those things. But if there's good intention, then more power to them. That's awesome what they're doing. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird.
Where was that at now? Where at in Bellingham was that?
The Walmart.
Oh, is it Walmart? Really? That's funny. Walmart, as far as like
Yeah.
around town, Walmart's like my favorite place to stay, just because there's always people like coming and going and passing through there. I prefer places like that rather than the dark parking lots where nobody's around. I don't know, something about just having more people there always made me feel more comfortable or whatever. There was a kind of a funny incident. Me and Eldad did laugh about it. We were at Walmart down in Huntington Beach, and we had just I had traveled from Seattle all the way through Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, um, and then into Huntington Beach, Southern California there, and I developed a leak on the on a one of the main coolant hoses in the Volkswagen, and so we had to buy the parts and actually swap out this like 2-inch uh, coolant line in the Walmart parking lot. And so we waited until like 10 or 11 at night to do this. And we had all the tools. We had the drain pans and everything. We waited till the parking lot was mostly empty before we did that. And so um, after we were done, we just went and parked in the parking lot and slept. And so we woke up the next morning, and it's Southern California. I think it's May, and the van is just roasting. We've got the top popped. The doors are open, and we're just kind of like lounging in the van. There's just, it's a mess. And this lady did come up, and she asked if we needed some money. I guess maybe we looked pretty haggard to where we were stuck there until we had more money so we could go somewhere. I don't know, but Eldad and I kind of looked at each other and we laughed and told her no, of course, and stuff. But it was kind of funny. It was kind of cool at the same time to know that there's people out there willing to do that. I just wish I knew what we look like from the outside to to have somebody come and offer us some money. So, but other
Yeah,
than
I
that,
think I think overall people are good.
oh,
What were you saying?
oh no, nothing.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think overall people are good spirited. I think traveling around is, if anything, not showing me that people are bad. It's shown me that most people are good, and putting like trusting other people and really getting to know new people you meet on the road is always makes for a better traveling experience. But it's just I think it's just more along the lines of being smart about it. Like not putting yourself in a bad situation, but at the same time also being open to new situations and being able to go out there and meet those people. Because I honestly think most people out there are good, good-hearted, and you just have to go out there and experience it to really understand it and feel that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hey, I was looking at this the one comment there on your Facebook from Ed Lucas. He said, "What do you think of people begging for money on crowdfunding sites to support their RV living?" What
What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that all depends. I think if you're trying to get somewhere and maybe complete a project or accomplish a goal, um, if you've got, I think the whole thing with crowdfunding out there is the people that are going to be supporting that are people that are interested in what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if it's people's choice to support that funding or not, and so I don't see any reason why that should be a big deal. I keep hearing more and more people, whether it's to support the RV living or to support a film project or any sort of project. I hear a lot of people kind of trashing on the crowdfunding. But the thing is, the people that are going to be giving money are people that support what is being done. So I don't see a problem with it. I don't know. If people want to give their money to support that, then why not? That's up to them. I don't think
Yeah.
it's up to anybody else to trash on them for it.
I agree. I think as long as if it goes to the like if you're doing a project and it actually goes to that project, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like if it's actually represented the way that it's supposed to be represented, and if it actually if it goes what it's intended to go to, then yeah, why not? If those people, especially if they're doing the kickbacks. You know, like whenever people donate this amount of money, they get this and this, and if that's followed through, then I think that's awesome and definitely worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like YouTube in general. I don't necessarily want to say it's a problem, but it seems like YouTubers in general have been using that platform a lot to kind of get more funds for what they're doing. Like not so much. I'm not even referring to van life people. I'm just saying in general because it seems like everybody that does YouTube videos these days have been doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's there, and you know, the people that are going to be giving money are obviously wanting to support what's going on. So why not? You know, and like you said, 100%, as long as they are putting it towards its intended use, for sure.
Absolutely. Another question here from I found the comments. Everybody I found it. Thank you for the help. Um, from Leo Crow. One question you could really clarify to me: are there any heating systems that you could use the whole entire night apart from Mr. Heater that you would put your life in danger because of CO2? And I actually had a Mr. Buddy heater, but then I stopped using it. I returned it to the store actually because my van actually has a furnace, and I just decided to go ahead and utilize that because of the for my van, like Chad said earlier, he has a 5x5 space. In my van, I don't have that wide open space. A lot of things are always close to where things are at. Like I have tons of storage, I have places to put everything, but it's just kind of, you know, it's all in one spot. So I just decided to utilize my furnace, and I have a CO2 checker just in top, anyways, a detector for cooking and everything. But what about you, Chad?
Yeah, I know he was asking besides the Mr. Buddy heater or the Mr. Heater, the Big Buddy. I've got the Big Buddy Mr. Heater. I use it to warm up the van when I get into bed or when I get out of bed. I do not sleep with it on throughout the night, mainly just because it's kind of an open flame source. It's not really a flame, but if something were to fall on it, it could definitely burn up. And I've got a warm enough sleeping bag. I believe in you know, having some warm bedding rather than running a heater all through the night. I just get the warm bedding and stay warm that way. But I do know that there are some of the oh man, I wish I knew what those heaters were. But there's lots of other options that are safe. They don't inject propane or fumes into the air or anything like that. It's more of the furnace. But they're like gosh, I want to say they're like $800 or $900, or like even up to 12 or 1300 one for some of the more fancier ones. And I know like GoWesty.com has those heaters. I've seen them on there before, but there's all sorts of different options out there. I think it's just a matter of you know, being safe with whatever you got. You know, using your common sense and having enough venting and stuff like that. So I know there's people all over in different parts of the world that are, you know, in situations where they're 20 below zero in the wintertime, and that's a lot different than where I'm at here in Washington for sure. So I would definitely say focus more on having the warm bedding and use your heater just as convenience, you know, not necessarily to heat you up all the way through the night. That's my take on it. Anyways.
Absolutely. Well, we're actually going to stop right there, man. If anybody does have any other questions, go ahead and respond to this video. Or what I'm going to do is, now that I found the comments, I will go through there and copy and paste the comments to a Word document. That way, if you want to do this video once you return back from Europe, once you get back, maybe we can schedule something, get another live video going.
Yeah, totally.
Respond.
This was fun. I think once we got some, yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think once we got some of those bugs worked out and figure out where people can comment and ask questions, yeah, that'd be fun for sure. I'd definitely be down to do some more of that. So, and I'm hoping guys to do some videos while we're out traveling in Europe, kind of, you know, show you the aftermath of living the van life and how that's continuing on into more photos and more movie making and stuff like that. So looking forward to it for sure. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the video today, Chad. Appreciate it, dude.
yep,
And
thanks for putting all
definitely
this together.
enjoy Europe. Have a great
Yeah,
time over there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude. Glad you were able to do it. And thanks to everybody that was watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments. Now that we got the comments figured out, we'll be able to get that more smoothly integrated into the video next time. But once again, thanks to Chad. Thanks to everybody that watched. Have a great
Yep.
day.